Retired Air Force Colonel Cedric Leighton, who served as a military intelligence officer and highly decorated veteran of the Iraq War. Also Iraq War veteran Tom Tarantino is currently Senior Legislative Associate for the Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me. Tom, I'll start off with you. What do you need to hear from the President today?
Well, I think no matter what we hear, whether it's 10,000, 20,000, everyone comes home tomorrow. The most important thing we need to realize is this is the beginning of a surge of veterans coming home. And they're coming home to record unemployment levels, to a suicide epidemic, and to a VA claims backlog that's just frankly unacceptable.
But some would say they are coming home. And this is the longest war. You heard the stats there. 1,000 of these troops lost their lives since this president, who is an anti-war president, if you look at the typical scenario of left and right here. But these individuals and their families want them to come home. Let's talk about the mission. Has there been a mission accomplished there?
Well, you know, that's a question for strategists. Yeah. I think we need to understand is our mission accomplished as Americans, which means respecting the service and sacrifice that so few have done for so long. This is going to be going on for years. People are going to be coming home for years, and they're going to need care for the rest of their lives. And we have to make sure that the systems that we put in place in this country are there and up to the service and sacrifice that these men and women made.
And you're absolutely right. In fact, we're going to talk a little bit later to a wife. Her husband has had 3 deployments to Afghanistan, and she has the very same concerns. But Colonel, let me bring you in on this and the concerns that the troop withdrawal may be too sudden, that we are taking too many out too soon. What is your take on that argument?
Well, Tamron, I think it is too soon to give a complete revelation of what we're doing. In other words, we're withdrawing these troops, and if the President says what all the reports indicate, then I have some concerns from a security standpoint. What we've done so far is we've kept everything going, and we've kept momentum going, and we have considerable momentum when it comes to the death of Osama bin Laden, and it's something that we need to capitalize on to an extent.
Who counter by saying, listen, counterinsurgency is not a long-term viable solution here. When Osama bin Laden was taken out, it was a small force, a special team that went in. Can we not be effective with a smaller number of troops, a smaller footprint, if you will, on the ground there after 10 years?
Well, Tamron, I think we can, and that's where the dichotomy comes into play. From a symbolic standpoint, it is important to maintain a degree of a presence in Afghanistan, but I think we could be more effective. So I believe taking the troops home, bringing them home, is a good thing. The question is when and how to do it, and how publicly to do it.
Tom, the numbers are incredible when you think about it. 100,000 on the ground there, 30,000, as you point out, with the surge all along. When we think about the ally, and some people use that word loosely when we talk about President Karzai there in that country, if it is to help their government sustain and become a viable government, is that possible when you don't have a reliable partner? Is that one of your concerns?
No, I mean, the bottom line is, whatever the criteria we're going to use to determine success in Iraq and Afghanistan, success is ultimately going to be determined by this generation and how we care for them. I mean, it's important whether it's complete Jeffersonian democracy in Afghanistan or it's something more local and something that just works. Ultimately, history is going to remember how this country treated its men and women when they came home, and we are nowhere there yet.
And more of them are coming home injured than any other war in history because of the technology that we have and the emergency care that we have on the battlefield. They're coming back injured, and they do need us. Thank you very much, Tom. And Colonel Leighton, thank you very much. And